some rougher, trickier conditions where skills will be more to the fore, really.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how these lightweight fours will handle it and whether it makes much difference. So as you say, we've got the lineup there with the 2 Italian boats. The Danes dominated this event in the past few years, world record holders, Olympic champions. Only one of them present today in the stroke seat, Morten Jørgensen. As we take a look at the Spanish crew in lane 1.
A very popular winners were second place yesterday in their repechage to get through to the final.
That's right, it was a photo finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, very close.
We've got this German crew. We missed out the Italians who were in lane 2.
I understand this is a straight selection battle between the 2 Italian crews. The Italian second boat went straight through to the final, whereas the Italian first boat had to go through the repechage.
Yeah, the Germans are interesting actually, because the Germans had to pull out of the Olympics in the semi-finals. It's a disaster for them in Beijing, and they looked absolutely nailed on tasty crew. I mean, I don't think they'd have beaten the Danes, but I think they might have sort of got the silver ahead of the Poles possibly. So look at the conditions on the start. Whoa, yes. Now how would you like to do a start in that, Greg?
No, that's not pleasant, is it? And look at the barman's hair. Certainly caused him a few problems trying to keep the boat straight. Here we see the Danes.
Yeah, it's a very new Danish crew, this. Interesting to see how they develop over the next few years. A fantastic tradition now of winning Olympic medals. Yeah, and there's a pretty new British four.
The British again with a new lineup. Robin Williams, been very successful coaching British men's lightweight rowing over the course of the last 4 years.
Yeah, and the outside, it's quite interesting that the stroke and bow of the British four, they actually came 5th in the open weight men's trials held at Hazelwinkel. So, you know, that was the talking point, really. 2 lightweights, mixing it with the heavyweights, coming in 5th. So they have got racing pedigree.
I have to admit a little bias, though, with the British crew there, having edged out my Swiss four yesterday by half a second for the A final.
Yes.
So we have to hope they go very fast in this event and cheer up the Swiss.
It's going to be harder for them to get the crew straight on the start now, isn't it, with those...
Yeah, you can see the bowerman and the 2 men working a little harder in each of the boats, just trying to tap it on as the headwind comes in.
Yeah. Do you think they're all going to get clean? Anyone catch a crab on this start? Yeah, they're all ready. See, I mean, this changes the race of it, doesn't it? Because you've got to be so clean.
Certainly, yeah. We see these crews going off in the high 40s or even over 50 strokes a minute. You don't want to be doing that in bumpy conditions like this.
Long first stroke from the British crew there. That's sensible. We're getting our notes blown all over the place in the commentary, so goodness knows what it's like 2,000 metres down at the start. But the Spanish making a clean start. Yeah,
getting away cleanly. The Italian boat here.
The Spanish four got a very distinctive style, actually. They look very short and upright, but they're very effective together. They all train here in Bañolas. They're actually a very small, quite young crew. They were under 23 world champions last year. I'm pretty sure 3 of them. And it's not a classic style, but it's effective for them, and they all do the same thing.
And as you say, I think it was grim guts and determination that got this Spanish crew through yesterday on the photo finish and the repechage. But it was a real tough one right down to the line, and they got it.
You see a bit of rudder coming on there, or maybe that's just the wash off the stern of the Spanish boat. But I mean, the Spanish will be absolutely relieved to get quality athletes through, Simon and Greg. You know, after their showing in the Olympics last year, I mean, this is a real renaissance for Spanish rowing.
Yeah, absolutely. They can be a strong rowing nation, can't they? They've got great facilities here in Bañolas and again down in Seville. So they'll want to get the system working again and get athletes coming through like this crew we see here. Establishing a good rhythm, a good pace. The home director obviously is liking us watching them up there on lane 1. Be interesting to see how it pans out when we get a wide shot.
Yeah, well, I look across, I can't imagine this Spanish crew is leading with the quality of the Germans and the Italians. But, you know, through the 500-metre mark, they've certainly, well, they're in back there, they're close up. I mean, it is tight, isn't it? But
we're getting plenty of looks at their technique, aren't we? We're seeing them needing to keep quite upright, as you say, Simon, getting the strokes in. Maybe not a bad thing in this headwind to get connected to something.
Yeah, they all do the same thing, which is a lot of the sport. It's quite effective, and they've obviously gotten through to the A final. A little shot there. The thing is, the Germans are leading.
As you say, German crew with the 2 sets of brothers in it. twins in the stern.
The Germans actually have the only boat that's different to everybody else's. There tend to be two manufacturers, the yellow Empacher and the white Felipe. The Germans went to the Scientific Institute in Germany and got them to design a new boat for them with a blank sheet of paper for the Olympics. And actually caused quite a controversy last year, whether there was moving ball bearings in it or whether they come up with some pendulum system to stop the boat rocking. It's interesting that somebody's coming up with new designs for boats.
That's interesting. That's more America's Cup style, isn't it?
Well, exactly.
We saw the British oar just there in lane one, just hitting the water. A little crab there from Bob Hewitt, the guy from Tees Rowing Club in the bow seat.
Yeah, you can see in the British boat, maybe it's just the white blades, but they don't look like they're disappearing quite as quickly as you'd like them to do on the catches there, whether they're able to get connected as effectively as they need to. Seeing the Danes here, I think, getting better connections and getting better onto the water.
Danes would be really pleased with this, weren't they, Simon?
They're very pleased with this. They had to fight through both early rounds, actually. Didn't go straight through. They had a bit of a fight yesterday. But they had real confidence in their system and a class act. I mean, they had to peak on the day. So this time last year, they didn't actually make the A final at the first World Cup. They were in the B final, then won the Olympics by clear water.
That's inconsistency for you, isn't it?
Yeah, and as we look at the German for the two brothers, Martin and Jochen Kuhner, they won the pairs trials, German pairs trials, and then the two Schollmann-Fink brothers. Joel was in the crew in the Olympics, but actually decided to pair with his brother Matthias this year. So Matthias Schollmann-Fink came in, and Bastian Sebt, who was in the bow of the Olympic four, came out. So I guess that's fairly unique, two sets of brothers in the same crew. I can't think of an occasion where that might have happened before.
I can't think of it myself. I think we had the Hampton School brothers, didn't we, who went on to race
the Livingstons and the Smiths in opposite crews, not in the same crew. So maybe there's a bit of a precedent there. I mean, they are handling these conditions well, the Danish and the Germans, aren't they?
The Italians coming in lightweight four again. The past very dominant force that went off the boil the last few years. They're obviously getting something going again with some new directors of rowing and new coaching system there after the Olympics. It's looking to be a very good race.
It's shaping up to be a very good race, isn't it? Danes, led on by Jürgen Mortensen in the stroke seat.
Yeah, and the way that Danish crew came through last year, I mean, to win the Olympics, I mean, they sort of just step up. 2007, they weren't really there featuring, but they were so dominant. I mean, that was the crew of the Olympics, I thought, last year.
Lovely shot of three different makes of boat there.
Well, which you don't normally see in this
one boat tends to dominate. And certainly these Italians are getting their selection battle sewn up.
41 strokes a minute. I've got the Italians out. They're certainly putting it in as they come here with the last 500 metres to go, and I think we're in for a really good last 500.
Yeah, so Simon, you're the lightweight expert here. Who'd you pick to win this?
Well, I think surprisingly, I wouldn't have said it earlier in the week, but the Danes are looking very good. They do just know how to get it right on the day. They have real trust in their system and the way their coaching team works. It's also in some ways easier if you've had another race. The other two boats went straight through from their heats, and that's okay. It seems an advantage, but actually to keep it on the boil for another day is a different skill.
Just coming up with, about 350 metres to go. They haven't gone past the 250 to go buoy yet. That's coming out. You'll see that in shot soon, those big white polystyrene buoys on either side of the course. The rowers know then that's 250 metres to go. The buoys change colours.
I still think these Germans looking good. The lower stroke rate, plenty of connection, plenty of power going on. I'm wondering whether they can change the gear and respond as the Danes make their move.
They're running long, the Danes. They just get right round the rigger.
Wow, that's wicked. 39 in these headwind conditions.
It's really impressive stuff.
Yeah.
Everything yesterday in their heat, they only just beat the British, and here in the final, look at the distance on that. It's a different game.
British are miles back, aren't they? The British are probably about 10, 15 seconds back.
I think the British had their race yesterday to beat the Swiss, actually, and they're not going so well today.
Oh, good finish. The Germans coming
still close here with the Germans.
It's the Danes.
The Danes have got it. They've got it.
Look at it. Look at the stroke man. The way he comes around. That's real length.
Isn't it? Sliding right the way up and getting connected right up there.
Very, very impressive from Denmark there, and a fantastic progression through the regatta as they take first, Germany second, Italy third. I think the crew on the far side from Spain. Italy won, finishing fourth, and Great Britain in fifth place, and Spain, the crew we concentrated on early in the regatta, coming in sixth position. But really, absolute masterclass in rowing, and how to progress through a regatta, Simon.
Yeah, very impressive. 3 new members.